This video is going to be about the written report for your water cycle experiment. Since we actually started it about a week or two ago, what you're going to do to find it is you're going to go into your Google Drive, and you can either go here to Docs or you can go to Drive. It's up to you. And either way, there's a search bar up here and you can type written report. When you get to your written report, you need to make sure that since there are two people who can see this, if your partner is here with you, that your icon is here and so is their icon. That way you know you're both in the same document and you're working on it. When I introduced this about a week or two ago, I asked for one of your team members to be the leader and for them to open this up and then to actually share it with you. So you could also find it in Google Drive under shared. You can go over here and click shared with me and it will come up there too. So there's multiple ways you can find the document, but you do need to make sure it's the document that you guys are working on together. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to make sure that you just highlight here and you put your title, and your title can be creative or it could just be the question. It's up to you. But if you highlight it and just start typing, it will come in at the correct font size and type. Okay. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to highlight this area, and it says highlight the text and type your testable scientific question. So this question should be in the correct format. So that means it's what is the effect of blank on blank, or how does blank affect blank? And that's all you have to type here. And if you highlight this and start typing, it will type at the correct font size and type. Okay, we're going to come back to the background in a minute. Your hypothesis, you've already written it somewhere, and it needs to be in an if, then, because statement. So you're going to highlight this, and you're going to either retype it, or you could actually copy and paste it from wherever it is, but make sure it comes in at Arial 11. Okay? We've talked about the independent variable and the dependent variable, so you should be able to identify those. Your constant variables, you should be able to list a whole plethora of those. Some of you may or may not have a control group and an experimental group. If you're not sure, here's the test. When you did your experiment, is there a condition that is the normal condition? If there is, and you can identify it, that's the control group. If there isn't, then you may not have a control group or an experimental group. Trials, how many trials did you do? Okay. The next is your list of materials. So we've gone over this. We did a lesson where I made peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. So this is your bulleted list of what you actually did use. So we made a rough draft. Go back and double check that you used these. If you didn't use them, then change them out. Okay, and this is bulleted, and your bullets are these little circles right there. Procedure. This is your numbered list of what to do first, what to do second, what to do third. So like some of you took the mass of condensation. So you had a bottle condensate, and then you took a paper towel and wiped all that water off and masked it. But before you did that, you should have masked the paper towel dry. So your steps need to be in there. So a legitimate science experiment, I should be able to take your experiment, your list of materials and procedure, and do exactly what you did and get your exact answers. That's how science works. Okay. Data tables and graphs. We're going to come back to that in a minute. All right. So up to now, you are just kind of proofing what you did. So let's go back up to the background information. So the background information is based on your research. So if you did some really good research, this should be easy to write. If you didn't do good research and thorough research, this will be hard. So it needs to be at least a paragraph, maybe two. It needs to be coherent. It needs to be something that you would write in LA White or LA Blue. So in LA White and LA Blue, when you write a paragraph, there's usually a topic sentence or a main idea or a hook. So that should be your first sentence. And then you should have some supports under there. If you're going to use a quote from a place, if you're going to use an exact sentence, then it has to be in quotations and you need to cite the source. So let's see. Generally speaking, I might start out a paragraph that says, infiltration is a really complex process of the water cycle. According to Webster's dictionary, the definition of infiltration is, quote, and then I'll copy and paste it from the Webster dictionary. And then I'll go in and I'll start talking more about infiltration and explain what it is, how it works, what are factors that might speed it up or slow it down. And maybe even talk about, relate, or think about the conditions that you tested and talk about something related to that in the background information. So background information, this is where you're going to use your language arts skills and you're actually going to write a paragraph. And a paragraph is not one or two sentences. You know, a paragraph has got quite a few sentences. Okay, so this is something I will look at here. All right, so this is part 1 of the video. I will make a part 2 on the data tables, the graph, and the conclusion.